Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Thought I'd bring you along for the ride home. It's pretty out. It's still pretty chilly in the upper 20s. And I think they're saying we might get a little freezing rain tomorrow. And the main roads are cleared, but obviously these little side gravel roads, they don't touch them at all. And it just packs down. And if we get a little freezing rain on top of it tomorrow, it could be a little slick out. But anyways, I just wanted to bring you because it's just a beautiful drive. And now with some snow on it, a little white on everything, I think it makes it for an even prettier drive. I'm going to show you a couple of videos here later on, one from Australia and one from New Zealand. And you all, I'm sure, are very well aware of what's going on over there and how bad it is, maybe how bad it is. I think a lot of people, we've become desensitized already to it because it's been going on so long over there with their, infamous lockdowns and putting people into quarantine and things like that. And I've these couple of videos, I just want to show you how, I don't know, the psychosis, the people are okay with giving up their liberties, okay with giving up their freedoms, and they become excited when the government, gives them just little crumbs, little crumbles from the table. And I know that's Australia and New Zealand, and a lot of people are going to say that. But the fact is it's happening here too, and I want to talk about that. Before I get started with that, though, just some homesteading kind of prepping stuff. I say this every once in a while, but just because it's wintertime and it's cold and it's snowing doesn't mean that there's nothing you can do when it comes to getting ready for growing season, which is just around the corner, a few months away. It's a good time to, start checking around for compost, mulch, manure, things like that for your garden. In fact, next week, I'm meeting with a farmer that's got a whole bunch of rotten hay mixed with manure that's sitting in an old feedlot. He's wanting to get all cleared out and do something different there, and I'm going to meet him over there with this front loader, and he's going to load up the truck a few times, and I'm going to bring that home, and it's already set for about a year or so by the time it's ready to plant, it'll be really good. And just to remind you that that's the kind of stuff you can be doing even though it's cold and it's snowy and icy in places. And I know some of you got a lot of snow and you're like, man, there ain't no way I can go out there and, haul manure around and put it on my garden. I got 20 inches of snow on the ground. True, but there are things that you can be doing and getting ready. Everyone should be setting very high goals this year for themselves when it comes to your food production. I think we're going to continue to see prices skyrocket when it comes to food availability, probably to levels that we never would have thought possible. I don't know that, I'm not necessarily saying this year is the year that if you don't have a good garden and food supply, you're not going to make it, but I think we're going to start seeing probably a lot of things changing in that arena. So certainly put some focus on that. Start planning now. Get the planning out of the way with. Figure out what you need, how you're going to do it. Expanding. If you're expanding your growing, which you should be, you need to make adjustments for that when it comes to the amount of seeds that you have or what you put down on your garden, and do that kind of stuff now. So that's your little tip for the day, gardening, homesteading tip. All right, so on to these videos, and it's more than just the videos. They just kind of showcase just how people are. It just blows my mind how, and there's always been those people that are so quickly willing to give up their freedom for a little bit of safety. And this is nothing new. I mean, this was talked about, you're all familiar with the quote, talked about back, at the founding of this nation. So this concept of, giving up your liberties so that someone else will protect you is not a new concept. America has always been a little bit different. And even if you look outside of the United States, most normal people, they like to have their freedom of movement. They like to be able to kind of make their own choices for their life and their own decisions. And it's just always surprises me when people so quickly give that up. And we're seeing that people are joyously giving it up. They're not begrudgingly and reluctantly, giving up their freedoms. There's like this joy of compliance. I've seen a few memes and little posts and stuff, and comparing liberals from the 60s and 70s to liberals today. And especially for those of you old enough, the liberals back in the 60s and 70s, they were anti-government, anti-CIA, kind of that rebellious, kind of streak to them. And now that same class of liberals, they're, pushing for compliance and bowing down and, that kind of stuff. This is a problem that we are facing, and I'm hoping, I have a glimmer of hope that the little quote, and I can't remember the person that originated the quote, but you're all familiar with that too, good times create weak men create hard times create strong men. I'm hoping that we are going through that phase of the weak men have created hard times, and we're in that time right now. And so that I'm hoping that the hard times will create strong men. I'm hoping that there's enough true men and women in this generation that will stand up and become stronger, and that maybe the next generation will also. But we don't know for certain that that's how things are going to work out. For what's going on now, though, is that we're dealing with a populace, and I know the videos I'm going to show you are not here in the United States, but it's the same way here. I can show you countless videos. You probably have seen them yourself, where people just they crave it, they want it. Posts from people that are just. I saw one this morning. I was reading some news article, and it had comments down below, and I don't even remember what the news article was about. But there was like the first 4 or 5 comments, whether they were legitimate or not, I don't know. But the people were like, well, the reason why we don't, things are getting so bad with this health crisis is because, the government isn't, cracking down harder on people. There should be more lockdowns. There should be more restrictions. And there's a lot of people that actually want that. Like they crave that. They feel safer because they're just so terrified of what's out there, regardless of whatever. They're terrified. And you can call me insensitive and wrong and whatever. To me, it's a mental illness. I can't see it any other way. And I think that this, which I've talked about before, this mass psychosis, I think that's a legitimate thing. And I think that that's what we're seeing. I'm going to show you this first one is out of New Zealand. And apparently the backstory on it is this girl young lady is quarantined, okay? And they have finally given her a blue armband, which means that she's going to be allowed to go outside for 50 minutes a day for outside exercise. And there's a few other videos that she posted where she's just so excited and she's dancing around and she's, going crazy because she finally is being allowed to go outside. And so I want you just watch this video and just. I don't even know what to say about it, but here it is.
I'm really excited. I got my blue wristband, which means that I'm allowed to leave my quarantine room and go for a walk outside in the car park. My scheduled time is in 15 minutes. So I'm going to take you guys with me. It is so hot outside. I am sweating.
All right. I mean, is there anything else I can say about it? This is the mentality of the people that we're dealing with. And I've heard a few people say, I've seen it on my channel and comments, that people believe that that's only a real small percentage of the population, and I disagree. Out here where I live, you don't see it really. But where I live and where many of you might live in rural areas make up a real small percentage of the population. Look at the numbers. The vast majority of the population in the United States is in these big cities, in big liberal cities. And a lot of the people, not all, but a lot of the people think this way. Am I saying that it's the majority of the population that are thinking this way? No, not necessarily, but I think it's more than just a few. It's more than just single-digit numbers. I think for certainly there's a lot of people that think this way, and it's just astonishing. I want to go ahead and show this other video, and this is from Australia. This is one of their government officials, and he's talking about the new restrictions they're going to do. I think this is only going to be for 2 weeks because they're having a little bit of a surge. And basically he's saying that you can only leave your, if you don't have, ding, 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 you can only leave your home for like getting the thing, testing, medical emergency kind of stuff, basically. Go ahead and watch.
I'll go through each of these decisions. First, the lockout. The fully vaccinated can continue as they were. For people who are not vaccinated, lockdown rules will apply to everyone 16 and above. If you are not fully vaxxed, stay home. You are at greater risk of catching COVID, becoming ill, and needing hospital care. You may only leave home for 3 reasons. Medical treatment, including COVID testing or vaccination. For essential goods and services like groceries, power tokens, medications. To provide care and support to a family member or person who cannot support themselves. There are only 3 reasons to leave the home now, not 5. Work is not a reason to leave the home for the unvaccinated. The Chief Health Officer has also determined that restriction of movement is critical right now, and that 1 hour of exercise for the next 4 days is not essential.
All right, you can't leave your home for work. You can't leave your home for exercise. You don't need that. You can deal with not going outside for 2 weeks because you're a sheep. You're just a livestock, and you do what we tell you to do. You have no freedoms. You have no personal liberties. Nothing like that. And you will do what we tell you to do. This kind of stuff's happening here in America too. So I don't want to hear anyone say, "Oh, that's over there. That's not over here." You can look at videos and posts and rulings and edicts and stuff from mayors and governors here in the United States doing the same kind of thing, and you can watch plenty of videos of people that they just, they're so excited that they finally get to go out for a little bit. Back when the whole thing started coming around and people first started getting it, there was videos like that people were excited that they could finally leave their home. They could finally, get out and do things. It's ridiculous. We have become a very weak people. You can be offended by that. I don't care. You're just proving my point. And it's sad and it's disgusting. And it's one of the reasons why we pick and choose who our children are around and what is influencing their lives very carefully. Anything. We're very careful about it because there is just not just the vulgarity out there and the ungodliness out there, but there's just this weakness. And while, to me as a man, as a father, that's almost as equal. And I don't want my kids, the boys or the girls, to grow up and be just weak-minded, emotionally weak, not able to think for themselves, not able to stand up for themselves or for what's right. And this is the world that we live in, and I think it shows more and more you know, some of the other videos I've done in the past talking about, you know, indicators that we are experiencing a societal collapse. I think this is another one of those. It's not so much the stock market or the dollar or, you know, whatever rulings from the Supreme Court or who gets elected or anything. It's the people. It's how the people are acting. You know, the lasciviousness of our culture, that there's no rules, no morality, anything goes, no traditional values. And this also, as we're talking today, this just disgusting weakness. I'm not talking about that you're not able to go in and bench press 400 pounds. I'm talking about this emotional, mental weakness. They're not able to, not willing to stand up for what they know is right, and to just be so compliant and to be overjoyed that, you know, they're let out. It's kind of like a dog, you know, that you keep locked up in a kennel and you let it out to go outside a couple of times a day, and it's all excited. It never stops to think that, you know, well, why are you locking me up? What right do you have to put me in that kennel every day? How dare you? They're not thinking like that. They're just excited that the authorities allowed them out. And agree or not, I think it's just one more sign that we are seeing a collapse of our civilization, a collapse of our society, whatever you want to call it. Because there's so much weakness, there's so much around us of people that it's like they crave this control. They want this control in their life. They don't want to risk danger. They don't want to risk the animated contest of freedom. They just want people to control them. And as long as we have enough people that are like that, and I think we do, you will continue to see government, regardless of who gets elected into office, regardless of what party they're with. You will continue to see government grow and grow and grow, which we have over the last several presidents, regardless of how good or bad they were. Did government ever stop growing or ever shrink in size? Not in the last few decades that I'm aware of. And so we're going to continue to see that, which is going to continue to propel us down this road of collapse, down this road of you know, no freedoms, and it'll put us into the corner of to give up, to comply, or, you know, stand up and fight back. I don't know, either one. Anyways, folks, I just thought I'd bring this to you. Thank you for watching. Hope everyone is doing great. I feel like I'm kind of getting back into my groove after being kicked off for a while and then not feeling too good for a while. So thank you for those with your patience of understanding that I'm still a regular guy and doing regular things, and it sometimes takes us a while to get back to where we were. All right, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.